I was awoken in the early hours of the morning to our town's deafening emergency sirens. I'd only ever heard these sirens when there was an impending weather risk, so I rushed to my window. I pulled open the curtains, but the outside of the windows seemed to have a thick layer of white gloopy material covering them, interrupting any view I could have. I try to open the door, but it won't budge, so I run to the back door, but oddly, that one is stuck too. The window on the side of my kitchen had some light peeking through it, I noticed in my frantic state. As I entered the kitchen, my eyes locked onto hundreds of flying objects suspended in the sky. Swarms of large human-like flying insects making their way down and back up in a constant transit. Suddenly, there was a tap on the front door. I slowly turned the knob, noticing it was much smoother to open now. I jumped back as a 7-foot-tall bug creature gazes back at me, holding a large plate with barbecue, pizza, and an assortment of fatty junk foods. I was so hungry, but I was too badly stricken with fear. I began stumbling backwards as I tried to escape. The bug creature didn't enter my home, but instead placed the food inside the door, accompanied by a large glass of lemonade. Then the door shut. From behind the curtains, I could make out a large insect arm brushing the window clean. I could see outside, and as I approached, I observed many more insects delivering food door to door. Everyone's homes were coated with this foaming, goopy solution that seemed to prevent people from leaving. I tried the door again without any luck. As I retreated to a safe distance, I noticed an insect watching me from just outside the kitchen window. It looked happy, like a charming smile almost. I peered down at the food on the platter, and the food looked pristine. As I'm a bachelor on a budget, I hadn't had a nice home-cooked meal in a long time. I was starving and, presumably, being held captive. I had to eat. I grabbed a fork and began chowing down. I started with the barbecue. It was dripping in sauce. The creature chittered excitedly as I accepted its gift. Then, it left the window. This happened every day for weeks. At first, I was worried they were fattening me up, but after a particularly greasy breakfast left me clutching my chest from heartburn, the meals were replaced with fresh fruit. As relations grew, the bug creatures would sometimes come inside while I was in other rooms. They would seal off the rooms with the foam and do various household activities. As well as their cooking, I had woken up to hot, steaming baths and even my bed being made every night. It was truly bizarre. One night, I awoke to gunshots and screaming. I raced downstairs to find a man with a gun being devoured by the insects. He had shot open the lock and had some valuables he was looting in a small duffel bag nearby. I was sickened, but disposed of the remains the best I could. I somehow knew they had just been protecting me. One morning, the creatures wouldn't let me leave my room. I laid down, confused but trusting as they ushered me back into bed. Whatever their motives, they weren't going to hurt me, I thought. Hours later, a burning pain spread throughout my body. It felt like my stomach was filled with razor wire. The insects chittered as I spasmed and moaned. It was only when I felt a terrible squirming feeling beneath my skin that I realized that the insects hadn't been looking after me. They had been looking after their young.